With the Astros, our big story tonight, KHOU 11 baseball analyst Jeremy Booth is in the building, along with Zack Tawatari. Guys, Joe Espada's team, once again, 10 games under 500, so the panic button has returned. Is anyone going to push it? Is anyone going to push the panic button? Oh, no.
Yeah, and I'm pushing it.
Oh, wait. There it is. There's the noise.
Okay, I'm pushing it not because of the team, the personnel. I believe in this personnel. I believe in this team. I believe in the pitching when it comes back. I believe in the hitters. I don't believe in the moves they're making to use this personnel. And to me, if they don't figure this out, and I mean immediately, they're going to be in a situation where this whole thing is going to go away. We're already in May. You can't be in a situation where you're experimenting right now. This is a world championship roster. It's done it before. There might be a couple of tweaks here and there, but this club can play. And to turn around and take that away from their natural ability to flow, their natural performance, is why I have some panic. I don't know who's trying to make a point. Somebody's trying to make a point.
What do you mean somebody's trying to make a point?
I don't know who it is. What I do know is that when you go win 2 series in a row, one against, admittedly, the Colorado, I get it, okay? But the Astros had the same record at that time. And then the Cleveland Guardians. And you mess with that?
Mess with the lineup.
The lineup, and you mess with the flow, and you don't put the guys in the tweaks that you should have. I got concerns. I don't know who's doing that. I don't know why you would take something that's starting to work and change it. So for me, when I push the panic button, it's not about the pitching injuries. It's not about the other issues that we've seen. It's about the way the personnel is being used and whoever's making that call.
I'm going June 1st. That's probably, that's when I'm thinking of, that's when I would push it. What about you?
Well, the only reason I didn't push it today is because I already pushed it. I don't know about you guys.
You know what? Let's push it again, and then we'll hear there's the noise again.
All right. Yeah, I already pushed it because of the way that this team is playing, the way that they're losing, the way that they are not winning. When we talk about some of those statistics, that are showing the way that they're losing compared to the last couple of seasons, and also I believe 2 or 3 spots out of 5 in the rotation are completely unproductive. You look at their ERA, it's a 4.75 this year. That's 26th out of 30 teams in baseball. Say whatever you want about not liking ERA as a statistic, but it matters because it's about the amount of runs that you give up per game. You have to score more to win. If your ERA is higher, you're going to need to score more runs. The fact of the matter is they are not scoring enough runs to balance how many they're giving up.
I was going to save this statistic, but here it is. Blowouts, games that are decided by 5 or more runs. The past 3 seasons, the Astros were winning those games at a 71% clip. This year, they're under 500 at 7-9.
When the pitching rotation isn't healthy, performing, the hitters have to. They have to perform. When the hitters aren't performing, the pitchers have to. That's how you get through it. In the past, once again, this mostly same roster of personnel has been able to balance that. There's been stretches of offensive lack of production. There's been stretches of, although much more infrequent, pitching lapses and pitching short starts and injuries. It's happened before. It's not the first time. This isn't the first day baseball's ever been played in Houston. It's happened before. But what's happened is, along with that, you'll be able to balance it. And right now you're not having that, and it goes back to that personnel.
Bullpen. Joe Espada says he will keep believing in the back end of that bullpen, sending these guys out in a different order, Jeremy. We mentioned it. You mentioned it on our last Extra Bases podcast. Could that help matters, or do you think it would do more damage when it comes to these relievers?
Well, it's hard to do more damage than what's happening right now.
I mean, I
don't know.
He's got a point there.
It's not, when you talk about tweaking things, what's not working? That's not working. You've got an anointed, high-paid ninth-inning reliever in Josh Hader. You have Brian Abreu, who was the guy in waiting to Ryan Presley. You have Ryan Presley, who has had some success in the ninth inning when he's taken the ball. Hasn't been very frequent. He's got it. He's had some success there. I think you got too many guys moving around out of place. To me, this is now a matchup situation. This is a You don't have the 9th, you don't have the 8th, and you don't have the 7th. This is what the best flow is for us. You guys are going to get the ball in the back of the game. Those 3 with Montero mixed in. And I'll give you one more where the bullpen gets better. You staying with me here? When Hunter Brown goes into the bullpen and they get better there, now all of a sudden your starter's got to go 5. That helps Fromber. That helps Verlander. That helps Javier, who's coming back off an injury. That helps Urquidy, Garcia. McCullers, should he be in there? All the guys we're talking about have had, except for Blanco, who hasn't been hurt.
Yeah,
all these other guys have some kind of injury history. Throw those guys in the back of the pen with Seth Martinez, with Hader, with Presley, with all the guys, and shorten that game. Then you might have something there. Until then, there's no more roles. There's no more closer. Who's hot right now? What's the best situation for the Astros?
All right, I guess we should bring out Jeremy's famous quote. Relievers are volatile.
I don't see a TM by there.
I just put Jeremy Booth,
Jeremy Booth.
which you've been saying for years.
It seems to have caught in fire.
I think so. 8 blown saves this year. How can you say that anybody
Something's
should
on
have
fire.
a defined role? And I'll tell you what, if it really is just about winning and it's not an ego thing, you're going to use the pieces that are capable of being more versatile. Maybe Ryan Presley just isn't comfortable pitching the 8th inning. Maybe Josh Hader could be. Who knows?
Is there something to that comfort thing? I'm not sure that matters in today's game. I think you can put
It's all
anybody
about numbers, everybody.
Anybody in any spot, Jason, you tell me.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, lineups don't matter.
No, not at all. You know, Josh Hader, some context on Josh Hader. And admittedly, you know, on the Explorations podcast, we talked about the San Diego issue. And we said on the whole podcast, I said that's the first time that's been public, right? Here's how that really went down in a nutshell. He went to arbitration with the Milwaukee Brewers, and Milwaukee Brewers said, you know what? You're better in the 9th inning, a 1-inning guy. And he said, fine, pick whichever inning you want me to throw, but you're not going to pay me less for helping the ball club. It changed his thinking. It changed his process. He's still a 1-inning guy. Which one do you want him to throw? For me, believe it or not, this thing goes Abreu, Hader, Presley. If I'm lining it up, Abreu, Hader, Presley. You know why? Because Presley's not afraid of that 9th inning. And Josh Hader, he just rears back and throws as hard as he can. And if he misses up in the strike zone, it's a long night. If he's down in the strike zone, it's going to work. Presley, on the other hand, has to get creative a little bit. He doesn't have that electric 98. He was 95 the other night. Doesn't have that electric 98 anymore. He has to get creative. He's got to dart it around. He's got to be able to throw breaking balls for strikes. And if you've got a Brian Abreu who is searching for his identity somehow, and you plug him in the 7th inning with that protection behind him of a Hader, right, left, right, maybe it works. You never know how that's going to turn out in the end, and that'll probably help your bullpen stability.
Let's talk about the lineup right now. Jeremy was really the first to mention that Jordan should not be hitting second, and it had more to do with the rest of the lineup than Jordan. So let's look at the numbers. Most recently, we talked about this. Kyle Tucker has been moved into that number 2 spot. Alex Bregman was there for 7 games. Jordan, but Jeremy, you look at the numbers, Jordan has been the most successful out of this group. Maybe they should just put Jordan back in there.
You know, somehow I knew that was coming with this. And I'm going to tell you that Jordan's the best hitter of the 3. So he's going to be the most successful wherever you put him. That said, it doesn't help him to not be surrounded appropriately where he was. When they moved him down to the 3 spot, and they had Bregman in the 2 spot, right? Even though Alex didn't produce, you had a better situation with Alvarez down there in the 3 spot. Tucker in the 2 spot is an absolute mistake. It's a bigger mistake than Alvarez in the 2 spot because that's not Kyle's game. When Kyle came up to the big leagues, he was a swing and miss, chase, come out of the zone type guy. Yes, he's matured. Yes, he's a great hitter now. But when it comes to what's happened to Alvarez, Alvarez can literally wake up, have 1 at bat in spring training, and go produce. You don't mess with this guy. You just don't do it. As far as I'm concerned, they're still out of order. Now, we said there were 2 moves they had to make. 2. Okay?
Why don't you grab your pen?
They made the wrong move. Okay? And as far as we're looking at this is absolutely got to stop. This is what we're talking about as far as messing with flow. Why is that happening?
It's only 3 games, Jeremy.
It's 1 for 10 when a guy that was tearing the cover off the ball. And if you listen, and those of you viewers, you're listening, when I asked why that was happening, did you hear the silence? It's because nobody had an answer. There's no answer for why that's there. This guy right here, there's a swing mechanic issue that somebody should be able to point out to him, Alex Cintron and some of the offensive people around Alex to be able to fix that one. This guy right here needs to go even down another slot because he needs to have a situation where you have things working around him. Now, if you leave him 3, this guy's got to go back to 4 where he was happy. He was smiling. He was feeling good about himself. What was that word, Zach, you said earlier? Comfortable. Yeah, so I like that one, okay? Right now, the two hitters should be this.
Jeremy Pena.
Jeremy Pena is your two-hitter on this lineup. Some people are made for it. When you look back at 2022, we talked about this off camera, and Jason will bring to you what Jason does so actually well with all the research. So I'm going to tell you, Jeremy Pena is made for two spots in the lineup. One is 2 and one is 7. Jason, how did Jeremy Pena do in the 2 spot?
He had a higher OPS than that.
Oh.
It was like 856, 860, something like that.
Oh, so it worked.
And I think they won the World Series that year.
Was that 2022?
Yeah, I think he said 20.
I thought we liked parades here. I thought that was what kind of our thing now, right? Was having parades. So this needs to be reworked. I'll say it again. Jose Altuve, Jeremy Pena, for me, Alex Bregman, Jordan Alvarez, Kyle Tucker, Yander Diaz, now John Singleton, Chas McCormick, Mauricio Dubon, and you close your eyes. Just like I can repeat that and recite that without even looking at it, with nothing in my hands, you close your eyes, you walk the other way, and you feel good about what's going out there. We're getting to a place where we're running guys out there because we feel like we have to, even guys that just got here. I'm not saying Loperfield doesn't have a spot. I'm not saying there's no way to rotate him in there. I'm not saying that you don't have other ways to keep guys fresh. That's your 9. If you run that 9 out every single night, you give your pitchers more or less pressure on them and a better chance to win.
Back on Sports Extra with Zack and Jeremy Booth. Let's do Pump the Brakes, guys. Storylines within baseball that will either hold or won't, in which we pump the brakes. Up first, from MLB.com, Major League executives talk teams on the rise, but also overwhelmingly believe the Astros will now finish 3rd in the AL West. Anyone pumping the brakes on that?
I am not pumping the brakes. I think they're right. I mean, you're looking at the fact that they still have, 16 games, I think, left against both of these teams.
With the Rangers and the Mariners, the teams above them.
Right,
yeah.
The 2 teams that are expected to potentially be above them. The way that this team is playing, I mean, they'll be lucky to be competing for a wild card spot.
The hole they've dug is just immense. And I think that, listen, under normal circumstances it would be hard, but when you're still dealing with injuries and inconsistencies around this club, 3rd place, right now, given where they're at, 3rd place would I don't want to say a win, but they're not a 3rd place team right now.
No. You know, it's I hate to say this because I believe it's a world championship roster. I've said this multiple times. We've said this multiple times. I've got enough concerns now about how these personnel is being used that 3rd place might be nice. You know, when you're looking at that, you've got the Oakland Athletics who are overachieving. You know, who saw that coming. You got the Angels who at any given point could turn around and be somewhat competitive. So, you know, for me, I don't think this is a team to give up on yet, but they are getting to a place of digging such a hole that it's going to be hard to get out of. And if this is how they play the Mariners, and we've seen how they play the Rangers, right? Then we're going to be in a situation where, as Zack said, 16 more times against them, that's got a chance to put a dent into it. So we'll see where that works out, but 3rd place might be nice.
Up next, MLB showing early signs of potential chaos from the New York Post. It's because many good hitters right now aren't hitting, and it could then be a postseason with a bunch of surprises. Is anyone pumping the brakes on that? Okay.
I'm not pumping the brakes. I'm actually going to go hit gas on that one.
Yeah.
I guess, you know, for me, some of the hitting that has gone on in this game is baffling. And I'm watching some of it on a night-in, night-out basis. I mean, some of the best performers aren't swinging the bat. And some of the guys that have been fixtures in the game as far as leaders, they're not doing that either. The pitching, I think we're finally getting away from the pitching is so much better narrative, and now we're focusing on why guys can't hit it, which is something that is overdue. It's overdue to say that because the swings in this game have gone backwards. So I think there's a lot of surprises. One of the biggest surprises for me is no one going to games in St. Louis, right? There's no fans showing up at these ballparks.
Yeah.
So I think the fans have kind of spoken here, and we'll see what happens with the clubs.
I'm pumping the brakes on that only because of the fact that I think that youth is parity, right? I mean, youth overachieving is parity. And I think we often see that in the beginning of seasons. maybe more so, to a degree this year than we have in the past. But I do think that veteran talent is going to, over the course of the season, end up showing up. However, I will say that doesn't mean that it's not surprising.
And finally, a headline from CBSSports.com. MLB uniforms to be fixed by the 2025 season. League says Nike will address multiple issues after player complaints. I'm all about pumping the brakes on this. I don't think that Nike Fanatics has really given anyone any type of confidence to think that whatever is wrong with these uniforms will be fixed. I'm pumping the brakes on this one.
Yeah, pumping the brakes. That's a lot to fix. When something goes wrong on that massive a scale, it's really hard to reverse the wheel and turn it back the other way around. Uniforms look terrible.
They do. Now, that was Pump the Brakes, and of course, we do Pump the Brakes on the Extra Bases podcast, which is available on KHOU 11+. Of course, we always appreciate Jeremy Booth, our KHOU 11 baseball analyst, for coming in and joining us on Sports Extra. Thanks, Jeremy.
Thanks for having me, guys.